So this video is on sector area and arc length. Again, I will post a blank copy of the notes on Classroom as well as the worksheet you have to complete after this. So we're going to start here with, so we have our first example over here, the circle AB with a central angle of 90 degrees and a radius of 4 centimeters. So you can see off to the side over here where I have AB, so that blue line I tried to draw, that's called an arc. It's just a piece taken out of the circle. And then the shaded area right here where it's shaded in purple, that's called a sector. So that's just a piece we're cutting out of the circle, we call it a sector. And we're going to use these proportions that I have down here to find the area of the sector and the length of that arc. So using this first circle, I'm going to start my first example with finding the sector area. I'm going to use that formula over there. So our sector area, that's what we're trying to find, so that's going to be our x. You can use whatever variable you want, I just prefer x. And then we're putting that over the total area, so pi r squared. So that's going to be pi times 4 squared. And then we're setting that equal to the arc measure, which is our 90 degrees right here, over 360 degrees, because that is the total measure of the circle is 360 degrees. Okay. So then, simplify it a little bit, we have x over pi times 16 equals 90 degrees over 360 degrees. And then for solving, I like to cross multiply. So we're not going to worry about the pi for right now, so we're going to do 90 times 16, which is 1,440 pi. I'm not going to multiply the pi out, but I'm still going to leave the pi there because it's still an important part of the problem. And then 360 times x. And then this would just be like any regular equation. You solve for x, so you divide by 360. Okay, so again, not worrying about the pi for right now. We're just going to kind of bring it along. We're going to do 1,440 divided by 360. And that's going to give us 4. And then again, we just have to keep the pi. So 4 pi. And that is your answer for that one. So now would be a good time to pause if you wanted to try and find the area of the blue shaded region on the next example. So go ahead and do that if you'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one now. So we're trying to find the area of the blue region, so we're going to use the same formula we just did. So x, we're looking for our sector area over the total area, which is pi times 6 squared. And then our arc measure is 100 degrees in this case, still over 360. The 360 is always going to be part of your proportion, no matter which way you're setting it up. Okay, so then simplifying, so we have x over pi times 36 equals 100 degrees over 360 degrees. So then we're cross multiplying. So 100 times 36 is 3,600. Times pi, can't forget about that pi, and then 360 times x. So then again, to solve for x, divide by 360 on both sides. So 3,600 divided by 360 is 10 times pi, and that's your answer. So as far as leaving it in terms of pi, unless it tells you otherwise, unless it tells you to round to the nearest whole number or the nearest tenth or whatever, I would just leave it in terms of pi. I think that just makes it a little easier. And if you are going to multiply out by pi, you want to wait until you get to the very end, till you get to this step right here, and then you would multiply it out to round it. So now we're going to find the length of the arc. So this is a little different. So we're going to use that other formula that we had up here. So we're looking for arc length. So that is our x. And then we're putting that over our circumference, which is 2 pi r. Our radius in this case is 15. And then we're still doing the arc measure, which is 120 over 360. So again, going to simplify a little bit before. So x over 30 pi equals 120 over 360. Cross multiply. So 120 times 30 is going to give us 3600 times pi equals 360x. And then again, just to solve for x, we're dividing by 360 on both sides. And then that's going to give us 10 pi. So remember what this is representing. It's representing the length of this arc right here. So this is in inches, so in this case the length of that is 10 pi inches. So again, if you wanted to pause and try this last example here on your own before I go over it, that's fine. Now would be a good time to do that. If not, I'm going to start it. So again, we're looking for arc length, so that's our x, over our circumference, which is 2 times pi times 5. And then we have our arc measure, which is 150 degrees over 360 degrees. So then we have x over 10 times pi equals 150 degrees over 360 degrees. So cross multiply. 10 times 150, sorry about that. 10 times 150 is 1500 pi equals 360x. And to solve for x, divide by 360 on both sides again. So if you did this one on your own, you'll notice that 360 doesn't go into 1500 evenly. Not all of your numbers are going to come out perfect. That's okay. That doesn't mean you did it wrong. In this case, you would just want to find their greatest common factor and simplify the fraction. So in this case, their greatest common factor here, I believe, is... I have the answer here. I just forgot what the greatest common factor is. Their greatest common factor is 60. So if you divide both by 60, you should get 25 over 6 times pi. And that's your final answer. So I hope this video is helpful. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to email me or text me or call me or whatever you need. Okay?